Hi, my name is Marlene Bell. Welcome to Ewephoric. We're out here in sunny California. We have our fitter who's flown out from Illinois today, and she's been helping us out for the last few days. She's going to be here for a week. She's actually an independent contractor. Her name is Joyce Burnham. Today we're going to be shooting a lot of footage of what happens twice a year at Ewephoric, just to kind of give you an idea of what we do and what we're all about. We went from raising the animals ourselves to getting involved in more informational type things, which led me to writing on the website bits and pieces on how people can raise their animals, and then taking that information and adding it to the book that I published called Among the Sheep in 2009. So it's basic information, but it's good solid information that you can use for raising any breed. I met my husband in 1978, and he got into sheep as a teenager in the mid-60s. He wanted a show flock, and his dad bought him a Suffolk flock. And so he's always had the sheep, and when I met him, he had, maybe a half a dozen or so. And the typical story, city girl, didn't know a thing about livestock. I literally fell in love with the animals, and being an artist, I would go out there and photograph them and use them for drawings and sketches. Some of them are sketches. Some of them of the artwork that I do are from the photography. We take pictures of lambs like those triplets. I may take a shot of that and transfer it over into a drawing, and then that may go into a painting, or I'll take the photograph and go online and do some manipulation of the picture, and it just kind of, the business kind of gravitated from that standpoint as far as what I do. Started off with the artwork and moved into oil paintings and my photography and things like that, but we settled on the Dorset breed, which is a white face breed. They lambed in the fall, which we really liked because everybody down here has spring lambs, but very rare did you find natural born September or October lambs. So the breed actually will lamb for you 3 times in 2 years, which was really a nice thing. When everyone else was barren of lambs, we always had some to sell or to show. Like, we have a flock of 60 ewes, but what you find with some of these sheep is you're probably going to have 10 or 15 ewes every year give you your best sheep. So your breeding stock your stud rams tend to come from that small group. So those are always the ones that we scrutinize the heaviest. And we can usually see, by the time they're a week or 2 old, you can see the conformation and the kind of individual they're going to be. We keep an eye on them, and you know early on which ones are worth growing out and which ones probably won't make the cut. We also believe in keeping the sheep breeds as natural and as close to the traditional breeds as we can. And this is another reason why we settled on the Horned Dorset, because it truly is one of the old breeds, and it still looks very much like the European breeds that are out there right now. The Horned Dorset breed is kind of interesting. It is a minor breed, which means that by registration we have less than 2,500 individuals registered to the Continental Dorset Club, which is the breed registry, which means there are very few people that you can actually buy sheep from. Because it's so warm here, the sheep tend to grow better when they're cooler. Especially now when you've got over 100 degrees. These lambs were recently weaned within the last 30 days. And the best thing you can do is get the wool off and keep them as cool as possible for maximum growth. We take all the wool off, with the exception of leaving a little patch of wool on their backside, so that we keep the shape of the back end. Sometimes it's hard to grow that back out if you don't do that as a young lamb. As these sheep are being marketed and sold, they'll eventually grow into all of that patch wool that we have on the back. Well, I've always been an admirer of folks that can draw and paint out of their head. I have to physically see something on paper or a picture to draw and paint from. So I like to paint realistic. I started doing some painting in high school, and I'm basically self-taught. I have no formal training, no formal art training at all. And I like a lot of colors, so you'll find that a lot of the paintings that I do have a lot of purples and reds and real vibrant color, because it's just me. Because we're so hot and we get, I believe the annual rainfall here is 6 inches a year, we have the luxury of flood irrigation. A lot of places don't have that. They do a lot of drip irrigation out here, but we have a valve, and about once a month through the hot months we literally run water across everything. And that's what we're doing today. The pasture goes about 3 or 4 weeks and starts looking a little tired, so we're putting some water on it today. We'll bring the sheep in on hay and dry lot feed them while the pasture's being irrigated, and then once the irrigation is over with in a week, we'll turn them back on. We're not here just to sell sheep, just to be making a sale. That's probably the one thing, if I could criticize, some folks out there. Our website was always designed as a teaching tool, not just a sales tool. So we want to make sure that if people are coming to us and if they're absolutely wanting the Horned Dorset breed, we're happy to help out, and we'll get them anything that they need for their own flock.